Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I know this has been a long time coming. Y'all been asking me for this for 2 years. I finally got the little Pilgrim Lady finished to go with the little Pilgrim guy. So if you want to know how to make her, stick around. I'll show you how. Thank y'all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is cut out our dress, and we're going to take the pattern. I've given it to you in the description below, and you are going to cut this on the fold. So go ahead and line that up on the edge of your fabric, pin it down, and then just go ahead and cut that out. And you're just cutting the two sides. Then to trim out the bottom, we're just going to fold it up about 1/4 of an inch all the way around and give it a nice hem. And then we're going to glue down one side, and put the facing sides together. We're just going to fold this over. So your hem is going to be on the outside of this right now. And you're going to use a cone that measures 7 inches by 2.7 inches. And I'll give you the link for those on Amazon. And we're going to go ahead and cut 3 inches off the top part of this little dress. And then go ahead and turn it right side out, and just go ahead and pull it right over your cone. And it's going to go all the way down till it's about maybe 1 inch. You'll know because you can only pull, you're going to pull it all as far as you can pull it. So it's about 1 inch overhang on the bottom of the cone. We're going to take that same pattern. You're going to go ahead and fold it over, cut it in half, and we're going to make an apron out of this. So this is the same pattern that we just made the dress from. And then come down 3 inches from the top and cut that straight across. Then we're going to take some contrasting fabric, fold it over, and we're going to place this pattern on the fold and go ahead and cut it out just like we did the dress. Next, you're going to go ahead and hem up both long sides and the bottom. And I'm only doing this about 1/4 of an inch hem. And you can always sew these patterns if you'd rather. To attach the apron, we're going to come down about 1 inch from the top part of the cone, and we're just going to glue this right to the front. For the collar, we're going to go ahead and cut our circle out, and I'm cutting this out of felt. And I've also given you this pattern in the description below as well. Then once you get it cut out, we're just going to go ahead and fold it in half, and we're going to cut our other circle out of the center. Okay, this is just the easiest way to do this. Just fold it in half and pin it, and then just cut around there. And then we're going to pull it right up over the top part of our cone. Okay, for the shoes, I'm going to take 2 of the Dollar Tree Party Favor shoes, and I'm going to take a 1.5 inch cork, and I'm going to cut it in half. And if you don't have Dollar Tree shoes available to you, I'll link a video that I did where you can make them from scratch. So they're going to be 3/4 of an inch on each one of those corks. You're going to need 2 1/4 inch by 6 inch dowel sticks and sharpen them with a pencil sharpener. And then we're going to go ahead and glue our half corks down into the bottom of each one of these shoes. And to give her some stability, I'm taking 2 little nuts, and I'm just going to glue them right down into the toe area of this shoe. This will give it the balance that it needs so it'll stand up. And then you're just going to go ahead and glue your shoes right down to a piece of felt, and then we're going to cut them out after they dry. And then just get as close up to the shoe as you can. You don't want anything hanging over the edge. And do that to both of them. For the shoes, we're going to take a piece of fabric that measures 1.5 inches by 5 5/8 inches. And we're going to start at the back of the shoe, and we're going to work our way around back to the back again. So just making a tube right around the shoe. And you want to make sure that you're right down at the bottom, and go ahead and pull it tight as you're doing this. Okay, then just add a little bit of glue right to the front part, hold that down, And then we're going to glue inside of those 2 loops and bend those over. We're just bending them over to meet in the middle. And then you're going to put a little bit of glue right underneath that flap. And you're going to do the same thing with the other side, and then we're going to glue around the shoe as well. And then go ahead and glue the rest of the shoe around and push the fabric over to cover the top part of the shoe. And then the same thing in the front. Then to dress it up a little bit, I'm just going to add a little flower right to the front. And then you're going to do your next shoe exactly the same way. You're going to take the other cork, the larger cork, and you're going to go ahead and take the pointy end of your dowel stick and you're going to run it through it. And you're not going all the way through. You're just going to kind of push it through till it goes in there and it stays. We're going to go ahead and trim our corks down. Just want it long enough to go into the styrofoam, but not up through where the arm's going to be. And that ends up being about 2 inches. Okay, then go ahead and sharpen the tips of them, and then we're going to go ahead and glue the blunt end into the cork. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and glue our 2 corks together. So just line that up and put it in there. Let it dry real well. And just make sure that they are the same height and that they are sticking straight up and down. To attach them, I'm just going to put them on each side of the center of the styrofoam cone. And just go ahead and push them on in. The legs, I'm taking a piece of fabric that measures 3.5 by 2.5. And then I'm going to hem up one of the long sides and one of the short sides. And you're going to do that for both of them. And you're going to put a little bit of glue right around the top part of the shoe, and that's where you're going to hook the bottom part of that pant leg. And you are just hooking it to the shoe only, not to the cork. And then just glue a little bit of the ways up. You want to leave a little bit of flap at the top part so that you can have some room to kind of squish these down a little bit. We're just going to kind of slouch them down a little bit. And then do the same thing for the second one. But don't glue all the way to the top part. Just, leave probably about at least a 1/2 inch. Just start pushing it on down there till you get it gathered. Kind of easier if you just take your fingers and pull it like this. And then when you get a little bit with the overhang on top, go ahead and glue the top part in. And then we're going to glue the fabric over to the top part of the cork to cover up the cork. And then you're going to do the same thing with the other one. And you've got those made. We're going to go ahead and attach them. We're going to put a little bit of glue on top, and we're going to put a little glue on the stick and just go ahead and push those in. And then go ahead and put the other foot in pretty quickly too, so you do have time to adjust if you just need to move them around. And if you need to open them up or whatever, just make sure it does stand up straight. Now we're going to go ahead and make the hat, and you're going to cut this out, and you're going to place that on the fold of the fabric to cut out. And I'm going to cut this out of the same type of felt that I made the shoes out of and the little apron. For the trim of the hat, I'm taking a piece of fabric that measures 2 inches by 18 inches. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out. Fold your fabric over till you get to the middle and then overlap the other one with the other one. And go ahead and pin this all the way down. We are going to sew a casing on this so we can gather it up so it kind of looks like a little ruffle around the top part of the bottom part of the hat. Then you're going to take a needle and thread and you're just going to make like 1/4 inch stitches all the way down. And then go ahead and gather it and just put this aside. And then we're going to go ahead and make our hat. To make the hat, you're just going to fold your fabric over in the back, and you're going to start at the very top and start gluing it in. Just go all the way straight down, overlapping the other piece. And then just cut the uneven piece off the bottom of it. Go ahead and cut off about a 1/2 inch off the top part of the cone and pull the hat on down, and it should meet to the top part of that collar. Go ahead and take your ribbon that you just made, go around until you can see how tight you need to make it so it just meets into the back. Draw that up and then go ahead and tie that off. You want to take a little bit of time just to kind of make sure that you do get your pleats pretty even. Okay, and then starting at the back of the hat, go ahead and start gluing it in. And you do kind of want to hang over the edge of the hat just a little bit so that it does kind of blend with the collar. And then I'm coming in with a piece of black ribbon. I'm just coming around and I'm going to tie a bow into the front. And this is just like a real thin little black ribbon. That way you can still see the fabric above it and below it. And then just go ahead and trim off the excess. Okay, for her pigtails, I'm taking a piece of 1-inch faux fur and I'm going to cut it in half so I have 2 pigtails. And then I ended up cutting these to 3 inches in length. And then go ahead and get your excess fur off of here. Take the time to do this part right here. And that was 3 inches. I'm going to go ahead and pull the hat off so I can kind of make this a little bit more straight. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue it in. Just kind of stretch the sides out a little bit so that her arms will go up underneath there here in a little bit. And then the top part of the collar is 4.5 inches from the top part of the cone. And then go ahead and glue the front in and then glue the back in. And attach the hat. Just pull it all the way down. And it's just going to be sitting right on top of that collar. And then go ahead and glue the back in. And then we're going to leave the front open right now because we are going to put the nose in here and the hair. Now we're going to go ahead and add the pigtail. Just go ahead and put a little bit of glue up underneath that hat. Attach it right there. And then we are going to glue it down to the front part as well. And then do the same thing with the other pigtail. A 15mm half bead, and I'm just going to stick it right up underneath the hat for the nose. Okay, to make the hands, I'm using a hand mold, and I'm using some cause clay, which is just an oven baked clay. And you can use any oven baked clay you want. You can even use air dry clay. And just going to go ahead and roll up little pieces to put into the fingers first, and then finish out with the rest of the hand. It just opens up the cavity a little bit so you can get the little fingers in. It just makes it a little bit easier to form the entire hand this way. And then once you get all your fingers in there, then you can go ahead and press the rest of the clay in there just to kind of finish out the hand. And you're going to do both hands and use the mold so you'll have a right and a left. And if you don't want to use the hand mold for this, you can use a little bead for the hand. You don't have to make hands. Then go ahead and remove your hand from the mold and go ahead and put the wire up inside of it. And then you're going to bake these for 20 minutes at 275 degrees. Just kind of get them smoothed out before you put them in the oven. And do the same thing with the other hand. For the arms, you're going to go ahead and cut out your pattern, and you're going to cut out 2 of these. And I'm cutting them from the same material that I made the dress. You got those cut out. We're going to go ahead and glue down one side just on the length of it and fold that over and let that dry, and do the same thing with the other arm. It's just give it a nice finished seam in the back when you're done. Before we turn those right side out, we're going to go ahead and cuff up the bottom 1/4 of an inch just to make a nice hem line on the bottom of the arm, and then just go ahead and glue that in. And then do the same thing with the other arm. To turn them right side out, I'm just going to take a pair of pliers. I'm going to go all the way to the end, and then I'm just going to clip it in there and then turn this right side out. Using pliers is an easy way to get things turned right side out. And then I'm just kind of shaping it with a bone folder and do the same thing with the other arm. Okay, next you're going to take a 1/4 inch dowel stick that's sharpened on one end, and I just do that with a pencil sharpener, and I'm going to cut 2 pieces off of this on the blunt end, and these are going to measure 1 3/4 inches each. Okay, we're going to take some needle and thread, and we are going to sew up the very top part of the arm. So just do 1/4 inch stitches all the way around, and we're going to draw this up so we can put it around the dowel stick. This is how we're going to actually attach the arm. And you're going to do that to both of them. The arms, I'm just putting it up against the side of her dress. You want her fingers to touch the bottom of her dress. And then go ahead and bend over your wire, and then we're going to take a pipe cleaner and we are going to make it the same length before you get to that bend, and we are going to fold this back 4 times. And then we are going to glue this to the pipe itself or to the wire itself, and you're going to do the same thing with that arm as well. Just make sure that they're even. And then go ahead and glue your pipe cleaner to your wire. And then come down over the hand just a little bit, maybe about 1/4 of an inch. And you'll have a little bit on top just to bend over the top part of the wire. Okay, then you're going to go ahead and cut your wire, leaving about a 1/2 inch overhang, and then you're going to go ahead and glue your dowel stick to that. So you're gluing it to the dowel stick with the pipe cleaner and the wire together. And then to hold it in place really well, I'm going to go ahead and attach a clear rubber band to it just to kind of tie it all together. Just wrap it around several times just to kind of hold it in place. And you're going to do the same thing with the other arm. Just kind of turn your hand so it is facing outward. And then go ahead and add your sleeve right over the top part, come down over the top part of the hand. And then we're going to tie a ribbon around the wrist and around the elbow area. We're kind of giving her a puffy shirt. So I'm just taking a real thin black ribbon, tying it at the wrist, and then go ahead and pull your fabric down to where the top part of the arm is right there at that bend, and then you'll get enough puffiness in there to get the one for the elbow. Just kind of gather it down there, pull it on down because you want it to be, a puffy sleeve. And then attach your ribbon right there at the elbow. And you're just tying a little bow. Okay, then go ahead and pull your sleeve on down to where you're at the top part of that wire. And then go ahead and gather it on up and tie it off. And just make sure that you are getting this pretty tight because this is going to go into the styrofoam as well. Okay, to attach the arm, we're just going to come down about a 1/2 inch from the top edge of that hat. Go ahead and take an X-Acto knife, poke it in there, and then the pointed end of the piece of dowel stick we sharpened earlier, use that to kind of push in there to get it open, and then go ahead and put your arm in there. And then we're going to glue it in as well. Just get it wallered out there real good. Now remember that you have the sticks that came through for the legs. You may have to do it at a little bit of a diagonal. And then go ahead and glue it in. And you're going to do exactly the same thing for the other arm. Just make sure that your thumbs are facing forward. And then just put a little bit of glue up underneath there just to hold it all together. To decorate her hat up a little bit, I'm just adding a little leaf. I got those at Hobby Lobby, and I'm just putting it right on top of part of her hat. This was a pretty simple and easy project. Look how cute she is. Hey, there's how she turned out. I think she turned out super cute. If you like these kind of videos, give me a like, subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified when I have a new video. And be sure to make the little pilgrim man to go with her. And if nobody's told you today, you're awesome. Thank y'all so much for being here. See you next time.